Be me, 24, junior copywriter, living in a constant state of vibrational dread. Apartment smells like stale vanilla air freshener and that specific, electric dust smell that comes from overheating laptops. Sitting on a beige IKEA couch that has absorbed more anxiety sweat than a therapist's waiting room chair. It is 7:43 p.m. on a Tuesday. The air conditioning unit in the window is rattling. A rhythmic, grinding noise that sounds like a dying animal trying to chew through a cage. Perfect soundtrack for my internal monologue. Sitting next to me is Graham. Graham is 26, works in logistics, has a beard that he oils, and thinks his relationship with his mother is complicated because she sometimes calls him twice a day. He has no idea what complicated actually is. He's scrolling through Twitter, thumb flicking upward with a hypnotic, dead-eyed rhythm. I am staring at my phone, which is face down on the coffee table. It isn't vibrating. It hasn't made a sound in 2 hours, but I can feel it. It's like a radioactive isotope sitting on the cheap particle board. The screen lights up. I flinch so hard I knee the underside of the table. Coffee in the mug ripples. Jurassic Park water cup trembles. The T-Rex is coming. Graham looks over, eyebrows knitting together in that concerned face that makes me want to scream. You okay, babe? Hate that word, babe, infant, helpless thing. Yeah, fine, static shock. Lie comes out smooth, rehearsed, automatic. I flip the phone over. A message notification. Contact name, asterisk, birthgiver, asterisk. No emojis. Emojis imply emotion. She operates on pure aesthetic calculus. Message, asterisk, so are we still on for Friday? I picked that Italian place on 4th. The lighting is forgiving, asterisk. The lighting is forgiving. Translation, asterisk, the lighting is dim enough to hide my neck wrinkles but warm enough to make your acne scars pop. Asterisk. My stomach does a slow, cold rollover. It feels like I swallowed a handful of ice cubes whole. I look at Graham. He is a golden retriever in human form. Soft eyes, soft brain, soft heart. He has been asking to meet her for 3 months. He thinks it's the next step. He thinks it's a milestone. I know it's a sacrificial ritual. I start typing. Delete, retype. Asterisk, sure, sounds good. 7 p.m. asterisk. Send. Put the phone back down, face down. The dread thickens, coating the back of my throat like curdled milk. Flashback to 3 years ago, sophomore year of college. Brought home a guy named Tyler. Tyler was an art major, skinny, smelled like clove cigarettes and pretension. We were sitting on the patio of my mother's house. She walked out carrying a tray of iced tea. She was wearing a silk slip dress that looked like sleepwear on anyone else but looked like high fashion on her. She was 45 then, looked 32. Blonde hair, blue eyes, the original print. I am the photocopy that ran out of toner halfway through. Mousy hair, eyes that are grayish instead of sky blue, posture of a frightened shrimp. She set the tray down and accidentally brushed her hip against Tyler's shoulder. Not a bump, a lingering slide. Oh, you must be the artist, she said, voice dropping an octave. My daughter tells me you paint. I've always had such respect for men who work with their hands. She sat down across from him, crossed her legs. The slit in the dress fell open, not trashy, calculated. Just enough thigh to make Tyler's eyes glaze over. For the next 2 hours, I ceased to exist. I was a ghost haunting my own date. She asked him about his art, his dreams, his soul. She laughed at his jokes, throwing her head back so her neck elongated, exposing the throat. Primal signal. Asterisk, look at me. I am vulnerable. I am available. I am better, asterisk. By the time we left, Tyler was practically drooling. Not overtly, socially acceptable drooling. He kept glancing at me for approval like a dog bringing a dead bird to the wrong master. Your mom is intense, he said later in the car. In a cool way, he added quickly, the death knell. 2 weeks later, Tyler broke up with me via text. Asterisk, I just don't think we're on the same frequency emotionally, asterisk. Found out a month later he was doing a commission for her living room. A large, abstract canvas of chaotic reds and blacks. She hung it right over the fireplace. Every time I visited for 6 months, I had to stare at my ex-boyfriend's soul hanging above the mantel. She never mentioned his name, just called it the piece by that intense young man. She kept it until she got bored, then replaced it with a mirror, a very large mirror, snapped back to present. Graham is looking at me. His hand is on my knee. Warm, heavy, possessive in a way that's supposed to be comforting. To me it feels like a shackle. Earth to op, he smiles. Teeth so white they look fake. He's a junior associate at a law firm. Wears boat shoes on weekends. Calls his parents mom and dad instead of the wardens or birth givers. He has no concept of psychological warfare. He thinks families are support structures. I think families are just biological hostage situations that last until one of you dies. Sorry, I say. Just tired, long day at the clinic. I work as a vet tech. Spend all day expressing anal glands and holding down terrified cats. It's honest work. Animals don't have ulterior motives. A dog bites you because it's scared, not because it wants to prove it's prettier than you. So, Friday, Graham presses. He's like a dog with a bone. I was thinking I should bring something, flowers, wine. Panic spikes in my chest. No wine, I say too quickly. She's specific about her vintages. She'll judge whatever you bring. Flowers then, he decides. Lilies, my mom loves lilies. I want to tell him lilies smell like funerals. I want to tell him my mother will take the flowers, coo over them, and then casually mention that lilies are toxic to cats. We don't have cats, but she'll say it anyway to imply he's reckless. Sure, I say instead. Lilies are great. I am setting him up to fail. I am a coward. I look at his face and see a walking veal cutlet. Tender, naive, ready for the tenderizer. The next 3 days are a blur of high-functioning anxiety. I wake up at 4 a.m. with my heart hammering against my ribs. Check my phone. No new messages. The silence is worse than the noise. It's the silence of a predator waiting in the tall grass. Wednesday afternoon. I'm at work shaving a patch of fur off a golden retriever's leg for Roman 4. The dog licks my hand. I feel tears prick my eyes. Pathetic. Phone buzzes in my pocket. Phantom vibration syndrome. No real buzz. Clean my hands, check the screen. Asterisk birth giver asterisk. Asterisk where the green silk blouse I bought you for Christmas. The one with the high neck. It hides your posture. Asterisk. I stare at the screen. The blouse in question is 3 sizes too big, makes me look like a child playing dress-up, makes me look shapeless. Asexual. Exactly the point. If I wear something fitted, she'll make a comment about my weight. Asterisk you look healthy, darling. Have you been eating more carbs? Asterisk. If I wear the sack blouse, she wins on aesthetics. She will wear something structural, architectural. Something that screams asterisk woman asterisk while I whisper asterisk child asterisk. I type asterisk okay asterisk. Surrender before the battle even starts. It's easier this way. Energy conservation. Thursday night. Graham comes over. He's vibrating with excitement. I really want her to like me, he says, stirring pasta sauce. He's making dinner. He's perfect. He's too good for me. That's the narrative she's going to spin. She won't say it outright. She'll just look at him, then look at me, then look back at him with a look of confused pity. Asterisk how did she land you? Asterisk the eyes will say. Asterisk you must be desperate or blind. Asterisk and Graham being human will eventually start to wonder the same thing. It's a contagion. She infects them with her own worldview. I'm sitting at the kitchen island picking at a loose thread on my sweater. Graham, I start. Voice sounds raspy. She's not like other moms. He laughs. Everyone says that, babe. My mom is crazy too. She calls me 3 times a day to ask if I've eaten vegetables. No, I say, not like that. She's competitive. Graham stops stirring, looks at me with those earnest brown eyes. Competitive with who? With me. Silence. The air conditioner hums. He puts the spoon down, walks over and wraps his arms around me. Hey, he says softly, you're anxious. It's okay. Meeting the parents is stressful, but I'm on your team, all right. Nothing she says is going to change how I feel about you. He kisses my forehead. I close my eyes and lean into him. I want to believe him, but I know physics. I know that a force applied to an object will cause it to move. She is an unstoppable force. He is a movable object. I am just the friction in between. Friday, 6:45 p.m. We are in the Uber. Graham is wearing a navy blazer. He looks handsome, expensive. He is holding a massive bouquet of lilies. The smell is cloying, suffocating. Fills the car like formaldehyde. I am wearing the green blouse. I try to tuck it in, but it bunches awkwardly at the waist. I look like a deflated pear. Hair is pulled back in a severe bun because she hates it when my hair is messy. Messy means down. My hands are cold, shaking slightly. I sit on my hands to stop the tremor. Graham reaches over and pulls one hand free, squeezes it. "Relax," he whispers. "It's just dinner, just an execution." The car pulls up to the restaurant. Asterisk il nido asterisk. Pretentious signage, no capital letters. Dark wood, valet parking, heat lamps outside. A place where people go to be seen, not to eat. We get out. The air is crisp. Graham straightens his jacket, checks his reflection in the window. Vanity? No, just nervousness. He wants to impress. He has no idea that his desire to impress is the lever she will use to dismantle him. We walk in. The hostess station is a slab of backlit marble. The hostess is 22, bored, stunning. "Reservation for Vanderbilt," I say. Using her last name. I kept my father's name, small act of rebellion. "Ah, yes," the hostess says, eyes flicking to Graham, lingering for a microsecond too long. "Your mother is already seated, she's at the best table." Of course she is. She probably slept with the owner in the 90s, or blackmailed him, or simply willed the table into existence through sheer entitlement. Right this way. The walk through the restaurant feels like a march to the gallows. Sounds are amplified. Clinking silverware sounds like swords. Laughter sounds like screeching. My vision tunnels. All I can see is the back of a booth in the corner. Gold velvet. And then I see her. She is facing the door, calculated positioning. Never sit with your back to the room. She spots us, or rather she spots Graham. Her face lights up. Not a motherly smile, a predator's smile. Teeth bared, eyes crinkling just enough to simulate warmth without causing crow's feet. She stands up. She is wearing a black dress. Off the shoulder, exposing the clavicles. She is obsessed with clavicles. Thinks they are the ultimate signifier of youth and discipline. Diamonds glitter at her throat. She looks radiant. She looks like a movie star who just stepped out of a trailer. I look like her frumpy personal assistant. Graham stops walking for a split second. A hitch in his step. I feel it, the impact. "Oh, you made it," she calls out, voice like liquid honey, ignores me completely, eyes locked on Graham. "And you must be Graham." She extends a hand, palm down, expecting it to be kissed, not shaken. Graham takes it, fumbles slightly with the flowers. "Mrs. Vanderbilt," he says. "Wow, it's pleasure to meet you." "Please," she purrs. "Mrs. Vanderbilt is my mother-in-law, call me Alara." She pulls him in for a half-hug, pressing her chest against his arm for a fraction of a second too long, pulls back, looks him up and down. "My daughter didn't tell me you were so." She pauses, searching for the word. "Substantial." She turns to me finally. The light dies in her eyes, becomes flat, critical. "Hello, darling," the blouse looks comfortable. There it is, the first cut. "Hi, Mom," I mumble. "These are for you," Graham interjects, thrusting the lilies forward, desperate to fill the silence. She takes them, buries her face in the blooms. Eyes fluttering closed, performative ecstasy. "Lilies," she sighs. "How bold, most men are afraid of such a strong scent." She hands them to a passing waiter without looking at him. "Put these in water, somewhere far away from the food, please. We don't want them overpowering the truffle oil." Turns back to Graham, smiles. "Shall we sit? I've already ordered a bottle of Barolo. I hope you drink red. Op, of course, usually sticks to water, but we can have fun, can't we?" She slides into the booth, pats the spot next to her. "Sit here, Graham. The lighting is better on this side. I want to get a good look at you." Graham looks at me, hesitant. I nod. Defeat heavy in my gut. I slide into the opposite side, alone, facing the firing squad. Graham sits next to her, their shoulders brush. She laughs at something he hasn't even said yet. The waiter pours the wine. The liquid is dark, red, thick, looks like blood. I pick up the menu. My hands are shaking so bad the laminate rattles. I stare at the words, but they don't make sense. Asterisk Carpaccio asterisk, asterisk tartare asterisk. Raw meat everywhere. I look up. She is touching his forearm. "So, a lawyer," she says, voice low, intimate, creating a private bubble that excludes me completely. "Tell me, Graham, do you believe in justice or just winning?" Graham blinks, caught in the headlights. Captivated, he starts. "I guess I like to win." She smiles, a shark breaking the surface. "Good," she says, "me too." I take a sip of water. It tastes like ash. The trap is sprung. The cannibalism has begun. Waiter returns, ghost in a vest. He hovers, pad ready, eyes averted. Have we decided? I open my mouth, ready to order the chicken because it's safe, because it's hard to mess up, because I don't deserve the steak. We'll start with the oysters, Alara says, snaps the menu shut. Sound like a pistol crack in a library. 2 dozen, West Coast, I like them briny. She glances at Graham, sly smile like they share a dirty secret. Aphrodisiacs, you know, we have to keep up your energy, Graham. Big case coming up, didn't you say? Graham chuckles, nervous but flattered. I didn't mention a case. You have that look, she interrupts, leaning in, chin on her fist. Furrowed brow, heavy shoulders, Atlas holding up the sky. She reaches out. Index finger traces the line of his suit jacket shoulder. Tense, Graham visibly melts, tension leaving his body only to be replaced by a different kind of heat. I look at the water glass. Condensation weeping down the side. Count the droplets. 1, 2, 3. And for mains, the waiter prompts. I'll have the... I start. She'll have the risotto, Alara says. Doesn't even look at me. It's soft, easy to digest. She has a sensitive stomach, always has, ever since she was a baby really, just fragile. She says fragile like it's a synonym for defective. Graham looks at me, pity in his eyes, not love, pity. Risotto is fine, I whisper. My voice sounds small, distant like it's coming from inside a well. And for the gentleman, Alara answers for him too. The ribeye, rare, he needs red meat, look at him. She bites her lower lip, theatrical lust. He's a carnivore, aren't you, Graham? Graham nods, hypnotized. Rare is perfect. Waiter leaves, silence descends, but it's not empty silence. It's filled with her perfume. Chanel no, 5 and something else. Pheromones, malice. So, she says, swirling her wine. Tell me about your family, Graham. Are they close? The interrogation begins, not to learn but to mine for weaknesses. Graham clears his throat. My dad passed a few years ago. Mom's in Florida. We talk. Sometimes. Oh, you poor thing, Alara coos, voice dropping an octave, vibrational sympathy. A boy needs his mother. That must be so hard for you, navigating this world without a matriarch to guide you. She kicks me under the table. Accidentally? No, never accidentally. Just a reminder that I exist in physical space, even if I don't exist in the conversation. It is hard, Graham admits, opening up, pouring himself out. He never talks about his dad with me. I asked once and he shut down, said he wasn't ready. 5 minutes with her and he's spilling his guts. I feel like I'm always guessing, he says, looking deep into her eyes. Am I doing the right thing? Am I on the right path? Alara reaches across the table again, covers his hand with hers. Her skin is pale, smooth, ageless. Manicured claws digging slightly into his knuckles. You're doing just fine, she whispers. You have good instincts. I can tell you have. Presence. She turns her head slightly, catches me watching them, a flicker of a smirk, microscopic just for me. Asterisk look at him, asterisk it says, asterisk he likes this, asterisk he prefers this, asterisk I take a drink of wine, choke slightly, cough. Graham jumps. You okay? Fine, I wheeze, eyes watering, swallowed wrong. Alara laughs, a light tinkling sound. Oh, always choking on something. Remember that time at the recital, the flute solo? Graham turns to her, eager. No, what happened? Don't, I say, pleading. Mom, please. Oh, stop it, you're too sensitive. She waves a hand, dismissing my existence. She was 12, big solo, middle of the piece, she just stopped. Alara mimics a frozen, terrified face, grotesquely accurate. Forgot how to breathe, passed out right on stage, clattered to the floor like a sack of potatoes. Graham laughs, he actually laughs. No way. Paramedics came and everything, Alara continues, eyes shining with the joy of the anecdote. They said it was a panic attack. At 12, can you imagine? I was mortified, all those parents watching my daughter forget how to inhale. She shakes her head, tragic heroine. I tried so hard to toughen her up, signed her up for debate, soccer, nothing stuck, she just retreats. She looks at me, fake concern layered over disgust. You're doing it right now, darling, that glazed look. Where do you go? Nowhere, I'm right here trapped in the amber of your narcissism. I'm just tired, I say. Long week. Graham works 80 hours a week, she counters, sharp. You don't see him zoning out at dinner, be present, it's rude. Sorry, I mumble. Graham pats my arm. Patronizing. It's okay, babe, not everyone has the stamina for high pressure. Asterisk, babe, asterisk. The word sounds wrong in his mouth now, tainted. He's parroting her worldview, adopting her framework where I am the weak link. The oysters arrive, on a bed of crushed ice, looking like alien organs. Alara picks one up, squeezes a lemon wedge. Juice runs down her wrist. She doesn't wipe it, just licks it off, slowly, looking right at Graham. "Cheers," she says, tips the shell back, swallows it whole, throat working. Graham watches her throat. I feel sick, nausea rolling in waves. "Excuse me," I say, stand up too fast. Chair scrapes loudly against the floor. Heads turn at nearby tables. "Bathroom?" Alara doesn't look up, busy selecting the next oyster for Graham. "Here," she says to him. "This one is plump, open wide." I turn and walk away. Legs feel heavy, like walking through waist-deep water. Corridor to the restrooms is dark. Plush carpet swallowing my footsteps. Push into the ladies' room. Bright lights. White tile. Infinity mirrors. I grip the sink. Knuckles white, stare at my reflection. Pale, eyes wide and terrified. Blonde hair frizzing slightly in the humidity. I look like her, but a faded Xerox copy. A sketch left out in the rain. Why did I bring him here? I knew, deep down I knew. Subconscious sabotage, or maybe I just needed proof. Needed to see if anyone could withstand the gravitational pull of the black hole. Splash cold water on my face. Ruins my mascara. Don't care. Look like a raccoon. Look like a victim. Sit in the stall for 5 minutes. 10. Staring at the grout lines. Listening to the muffled bass of the restaurant music. Jazz cover of Toxic by Britney Spears. Universe has a cruel sense of humor. Take deep breaths. In for 4, hold for 7, out for 8. Dr. Evans told me to do this. Grounding techniques. Feel your feet on the floor, smell the antiseptic soap. Hear the vent humming, it doesn't help. The anxiety is biological, primal. My body knows I am being hunted. Knows I am being replaced in real time. Finally stand up. Unlock the door, walk back down the corridor. Dread pooling in my stomach like lead. Turn the corner, look at the booth. They are laughing. Graham has his head thrown back. Genuine mirth. Alara is leaning in, hand on his bicep, squeezing. She's showing him something on her phone. "Look at this," I hear her say as I approach. "That was me in Milan, 1998. "Wow," Graham says, breathless. "You haven't aged a day." Flatterer, she slaps his arm playfully. "I was a wild thing back then. Op's father couldn't handle it. He wanted a housewife. I wanted everything." She sees me, smile doesn't falter, doesn't change. Just incorporates me into the narrative as a prop. "Oh, you're back. We were just discussing Italy." Graham says he's never been. "No," I say, sliding back into the booth. "The leather is cold now." "He hasn't." "Criminal," Alara declares. "We simply must go. I have a villa near Como. It sits empty half the year. Graham, you must come. The light in September is transcendent." Asterisk we asterisk, not asterisk you and op asterisk. Asterisk we asterisk. Graham looks at me, excitement in his eyes. "That sounds amazing, Alara. Op never wants to travel." Lie, absolute lie. I beg him to go places. He says he's too busy, too broke. But for her, for the villa, suddenly his calendar is wide open. "She's a homebody," Alara agrees, pouring more wine into his glass, topping it off. "Safe, predictable, there's comfort in that, isn't there? Coming home to someone who is always just there." She makes loyalty sound like stagnation, makes stability sound like a coma. Food arrives. Steak sizzling on hot plates. Risotto looks like gray sludge. I pick up my fork, hand trembling. "This looks great," Graham says, cutting into the meat. Blood runs out onto the white porcelain, perfectly rare. Alara watches him chew. "I knew you'd like it," she says. "I know what men need." She ignores her own food, watches him eat. Vicarious consumption. I take a bite of risotto, tastes like salted paste, try to swallow, throat constricts, have to force it down with water. "So," Alara says, shifting gears, "Graham, this law firm of yours, is there room for advancement or are you stifled?" "It's competitive," Graham admits. "Sometimes I feel like I'm hitting a ceiling." "Unacceptable," she snaps, protective lioness mode activated. "A man of your intellect, you should be running the place, or better yet, starting your own." Graham blinks. "I don't have the capital for that." "Capital is just details," she waves a hand. Diamond bracelet clatters against the wine glass. Asterisk clink asterisk. Sound of wealth. "I know people, Graham, investors, people who are looking for sharp, hungry young men. Maybe I could make some introductions. The hook, the bait, the lure, not just sex, not just charm, power." She is offering him the keys to the kingdom and all it costs is me. Graham stops chewing, fork suspended halfway to his mouth. Really? You do that? For family? She smiles, beatific, Madonna of the hedge fund. Of course, and I feel like your family already, Graham, don't you? He looks at her, then at me. I am staring at my plate, dissecting a mushroom, refusing to engage, refusing to validate the transaction. Yeah, Graham says softly. Yeah, I do. Silence, the deal is signed. Ink is dry. I am now the third wheel in my own relationship. Wonderful, Alara beams. Let's celebrate, waiter. She snaps her fingers. Champagne, vintage, none of that Prosecco swill. She turns to me, eyes cold, dead, shark eyes. Perk up, darling, we're celebrating Graham's future. Yea, I whisper, Graham's future. Without me. I can see it unfolding. The text messages late at night. Asterisk, your mom is so cool, asterisk. Asterisk, she just gets it, asterisk. Asterisk, why are you so jealous, asterisk. Asterisk, she's trying to help us, asterisk. Asterisk, you're crazy, asterisk. Asterisk, we need to talk, asterisk. It's a script I've read a dozen times. Different actor, same director. Champagne arrives, pop, fizz, bubbles rising like tiny screams. Alara raises her glass. To Graham, she says, to potential. Graham raises his glass. To potential. They clink, looking over the rims at each other. I raise my water glass. They don't wait for me, they drink. I set the water down, untouched. Ripple on the surface, trembling from the vibration of the table, as Alara laughs, throwing her head back, exposing her neck. Inviting him to look, and he does. God help me, he does. I look at my phone under the table. 8:42 p.m., 2 hours left, maybe an eternity. I start mentally cataloging my apartment, packing boxes in my head, figuring out how to separate my books from his. Easier to do it now, while the heart is still beating, before she rips it out completely. Graham, she says, putting the glass down, you have something on your lip. She reaches out with a napkin, white linen, dabs the corner of his mouth. Intimate, maternal yet sexual, confused boundaries. Graham freezes, lets her do it. There, she says, dropping the napkin onto the table, stained with red wine and meat juice. Looks like a bandage, all better. She winks at me. We have to take care of our boys, don't we, op? I can't speak, tongue glued to the roof of my mouth. Paralysis is total. I just nod, a bobblehead of agreement, complicit in my own erasure. Exactly, she purrs, turns back to him. Now tell me more about this case. I want to hear everything, don't spare a single detail. Graham leans in, elbows on the table, turning his back slightly to me, closing the circle, shutting me out. Well, he starts, it's complicated. I love complicated, she says, and she means it. I sit there, counting the seconds between blinks, trying to calculate the exact half-life of my dignity. Graham is nodding at her, that specific nod he uses when he's trying to look intellectual, chin down, eyebrows up. I call it the podcast host face. Usually I find it endearing. Tonight it looks like surrender. Complexity is where the art lives, Alara is saying, swirling her wine. Legs crossed under the table. I know her foot is swinging. Rhythmic, hypnotic. I wonder if it's touching his calf. I don't look. Schrodinger's foot. If I don't observe the contact, maybe it's not happening. The waiter arrives with the dessert menu, breaks the force field for a microsecond. Any sweets for the table? Alara doesn't even look at the menu. Lava cake, she says. 2 spoons. 2, not 3. She assumes I am abstaining, or maybe she assumes I don't exist. Matter is neither created nor destroyed, but apparently it can be ignored until it ceases to matter. Actually, I start. Voice sounds rusty, like a hinge that hasn't been oiled in years. I'm not really. Oh hush, Alara cuts in, waving a hand dismissively, manicured nails slicing the air. You're always watching your figure, it's boring, darling, live a little. She turns to Graham. She gets that from her father, terrible asceticism, no joy in food. Graham laughs, a traitorous short bark of a laugh. She is pretty disciplined, he agrees. Disciplined, she mocks, repressed. The word hangs there, heavy, wet. I look at Graham, waiting for the defense. The hey, don't talk about her like that. The she's just healthy, leave her alone. Silence. He's smiling at her, complicit. He's enjoying the roast. Because it puts him on the side of the cool kids. And I am the buzzkill principal. I stand up, knees shaky. Chair legs screech against the floor, terrible sound, like a dying animal. Heads turn at nearby tables. Restroom, I mutter, don't wait for permission. Walk away. Feel their eyes on my back. Feel the heat of their shared amusement. Into the hallway, push through the heavy oak door of the restroom, escape. The silence in here is aggressive, buzzing halogen lights, smell of lavender soap covering up the smell of bleach, covering up the smell of biological waste, layers of deception. I lean over the sink, grip the cold porcelain, knuckles white, look in the mirror. Who is this person? Pale, eyes wide and watery, skin blotchy. I look like a Victorian ghost haunting a Starbucks. I run the water, cold, splash my face. Ruins my mascara, I don't care. I watch the black streaks run down the drain, swirling. Gone, I check my phone. 9:12 p.m. No texts. No "Are you okay?" from Graham. Just a notification from Duolingo. The owl is disappointed in me too. I start typing a text to my best friend. Asterisk, she's doing it again. Asterisk, delete it. Too pathetic. Type another one. Asterisk, I think we're breaking up. Asterisk, delete it. Too real. Making it text makes it fact. Right now it's just a probability cloud. I stay in the bathroom for 6 minutes, counting the tiles, 12 by 12 grid. 144 tiles. One is cracked, fissure running through the corner, structural weakness, just like me. I breathe in, 4 seconds, hold for 7, out for 8, tactical breathing, preparing for re-entry. I open the door, walk back down the hallway. The sound of the restaurant swells, clinking glass, laughter, chatter. I round the corner, see table 14. They are eating the cake. Heads bent close together over the center of the plate, intimacy of shared food. Graham has chocolate on his chin. Alara is laughing, hand on his forearm, skin on skin, touching the rolled-up sleeve of his shirt, right over the tattoo I paid for. I stop, freeze frame. My body refuses to move forward. Evolution kicks in. Flight response, but I have no car keys, no escape route. I force my legs to move, walking through molasses. I arrive at the table. Ah, the prodigal daughter returns, Alara says, mouthful of chocolate. You missed the best part, the center was perfectly gooey. Shame, I say, sit down, the chair feels different now, colder. Graham was just telling me about his screenplay idea, she says, beaming. It's brilliant, op, truly, why didn't you tell me he was a writer? Graham blushes, actually blushes. It's just a hobby, he mumbles, false modesty. I've read it, I say, flat. I gave you notes on it 3 months ago. Graham stiffens. Yeah, well, he says. Looking at his plate, you said the second act dragged. It did drag. Alara thinks the pacing is deliberate, he shoots back, defensive, hostile. Deliberate, I repeat. Yes, Alara says, eyes glittering. It's atmospheric, you have to have patience for art, darling. There it is, the pivot. My valid criticism is now evidence of my lack of depth. Her blind flattery is evidence of her soul. Graham looks at me, eyes narrowed, seeing a critic, seeing an enemy, seeing his mother probably. The irony is suffocating. Check, please, I say to the passing waiter. Desperate. Need to leave. Need to be anywhere but this kill zone. Waiter drops the black folder. Graham snatches it, lightning reflex. I've got it, he says, masculinity performance mode engaged. Graham, no, I say, it's expensive. I can afford dinner, op, he snaps, voice raised slightly. Don't embarrass me. Alara smiles, subtle, cat who got the cream. Let him be a man, op, it's chivalrous. She places her hand over his on the check. Thank you, Graham, that's very sweet of you. He glows, radiation poisoning. He puts his card down, debit card. I know his balance. This is going to hurt, but he'd bankrupt himself for another hit of that smile. We leave, shuffle out the door. Night air is crisp. Smells like rain on asphalt. My car is just there, Alara points. Silver Mercedes, looks like a shark on wheels. We'll walk you, Graham says. Naturally, we walk to her car. I lag behind, watching their silhouettes. They look like the couple. I look like the assistant. She unlocks the car, turns to him. This was illuminating, she says, word choice. Implies she saw something hidden, implies she found treasure in the trash. I really enjoyed it, Graham says, earnest, puppy dog eyes. We must do it again, the vineyard, next weekend. She leaves the question hanging, bait. Definitely, Graham says. I'll check our schedule, I say, lying. Nonsense, Alara laughs, opens her door. Graham is free, aren't you, Graham? Absolutely, she gets in. Window rolls down, electric hum. Night op, she says, afterthought. Try to sleep, you look exhausted. Window up. Engine purrs, she drives away, leaving red taillights streaking in my vision. Graham stands there waving until she turns the corner. Then he drops his arm. Turns to me, silence, heavy, loaded. "What?" he asks, aggressive, preemptive strike. I didn't say anything. "You're vibrating," he says. "You're radiating bad vibes. It's suffocating." Suffocating, I laugh, hollow sound. That's a rich word choice. We start walking to his car. Parking lot is dark. Shadows stretch long and distorted. "She likes you," I say, testing the waters. "She's cool," he says, defensive. "She listens. She actually listens." "I listen to you." "No," he stops, turns to me under a flickering street lamp, face washed in sickly orange light. "You analyze me, you critique me, she just gets it." "She's playing you, Graham. Mistake, tactical error." Never call the mark a mark. His face shuts down, drawbridge up. "Wow," he says, shaking his head, "you really are jealous of your own mother. That is so sick." "It's not jealousy," I whisper, meaningless. Words have no purchase here. "She's manipulative, she does this. She finds what you want to hear and she mirrors it." Or he sneers. Stepping closer, looming. "Maybe I'm just interesting. Maybe I have potential, and you're afraid that if I realize that, I'll realize I can do better than you." Impact, direct hit, hull breach. I stare at him, recognizing the words. That's Alara's frequency. She planted that seed. Probably when I was in the bathroom, or maybe just with a look. "It doesn't matter, it's blooming now." "Is that what you think?" I ask, quiet. "I think you want me to be small," he says, unlocking his car. Beep beep. "Get in." I get in, sit in the passenger seat, stare at the dashboard, dust motes dancing in the LED display. Radio is off. Silence is loud. He drives too fast. Aggressive lane changes. Punishing the road, punishing me. I look out the window, watching the city blur, streak of neon, streak of concrete. I am mentally packing boxes, books, clothes, toothbrush. I calculate the logistics. Lease is in my name. Thank God I will have to evict him. It will be messy. He will scream. He will tell everyone I'm crazy. Alara will comfort him. She will win, but I will survive. I look at his profile, jaw set, brow furrowed, thinking about her, thinking about his potential. He's gone, body is here, pilot is ejected. I close my eyes, lean head against the cold glass. Vibration of the engine rattles my teeth. "Are we going to the vineyard?" he asks, not looking at me. "You can go," I say. "I'm done." "Done with what?" "Everything." He doesn't ask what I mean. He turns up the radio, drowning me out, static and pop music, filling the space where our relationship used to be. We pull up to the curb, parking brake ratchets up, sound of a zipper on a body bag. "I'm going to crash at Mark's," he says. Liar. Mark lives in Queens. Alara lives 20 minutes away. She has a guest room with Egyptian cotton sheets, and a wine cellar stocked with the reds he pretends to know about. "Okay," I say, unbuckling. Metal tongue slides out of the clasp. Smooth, final, he waits. Hand on the door handle, knuckles white. He is waiting for the script, the part where I cry, where I beg, where I validate his potential by fighting for it. I stare at the glove compartment, counting the scratches in the plastic. 1, 2, 3. "You're really not going to say anything?" he asks, voice tight, performance art without an audience. "Don't forget your charger," I say. I get out, walk to the building door, key turns in the lock. Heavy mechanism tumbling. I don't look back. Hear his engine rev, aggressive, peevish, fading down the street toward the highway, toward her. Enter apartment. It smells like stale coffee and anxiety. Lock the door, deadbolt, chain. Lean forehead against the painted wood, cool surface. Heart is doing something erratic. Flutter, thump, flutter. Check my pulse on my neck. 110 BPM. Not dying, just social hangover. Walk to the window, peer through the blinds. Street is empty. He's really gone. The relief is physical, like taking off a wet coat, but underneath is the itch, the paralyzing hum of the brainstem. Asterisk, what are they saying right now? Asterisk. Asterisk, what version of me is being constructed in her kitchen? Asterisk. I can see it. High definition hallucination. Alara pouring him a glass, touching his arm. She's always been difficult, Graham. She pushes people away because she's afraid of how special they are. He nods, soaking it up, cannibalizing my character to feed his ego. She wins. She gets the fresh supply, the adoration, the role of the savior. I get the silence. Phone buzzes on the counter. Violent vibration against the formica. I stare at it like it's a bomb. Screen lights up. Notification, asterisk mom asterisk. Stomach drops. Acid reflux kicks in. I don't touch it. I know what it says. I can parse the syntax without reading. Asterisk concern trolley XC asterisk. Graham just called me, sweetie. He sounds devastated. I'm just trying to mediate. Maybe we can all do brunch on Sunday and talk this out. The trap, the triangulation. If I say no, I'm the unreasonable aggressor. If I say yes, I'm back in the pit, fighting for scraps of dignity while they bond over my flaws. I pick up the phone, thumb hovering, fingers trembling, minor tremors, not fear, exhaustion. I open settings, scroll down, asterisk block caller asterisk, confirm, yes, do the same for Graham, clean sweep, digital amputation, room is quiet, just the hum of the refrigerator cycling on and off. I walk to the kitchen, open the fridge. Bright LED light hurts my eyes. Half a jar of pickles, expired yogurt, carton of eggs. I take a pickle, eat it over the sink. Crunch echoes in the empty apartment. Brine drips onto the stainless steel. I wash it away. Watch the water swirl down the drain. Clockwise, predictable, physics works. People don't. I go to the living room, sit on the floor. Couch is too soft. Need the hard floor. Open my laptop. Glow of the screen washes out the room. Check bank account. Rent is paid. Internet is paid. Nobody can evict me. Nobody is looking at me. Nobody is analyzing my potential. I open a new tab, Wikipedia, deep sea gigantism, reading about isopods living in the crushing dark, where nothing sees them, where the pressure holds them together. I scroll, eyes tracking lines of text, breathing slows, 80 BPM, 75 BPM. The knot in my chest loosens, just a fraction. It's lonely down here at the bottom of the ocean, cold, dark, boring. But Alara can't swim this deep. Her pressure suit would crush. Her charm doesn't work without light to reflect it. I eat another pickle, scroll to the next section. Survival strategies, scavenging falling debris. Low metabolic rate. I wrap a blanket around my shoulders. Cocoon mode. I am not happy. I am not victorious. I am simply unobserved, and for the first time in 26 years, that is enough.